Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming today. I appreciate you giving up your Christmas morning to be out here with us, the CHP, to discuss our incident that happened last night. I'm going to introduce Chief Ernie Sanchez, Assistant Chief Ernie Sanchez, soon to be Chief Ernie Sanchez, and then he's going to introduce Captain Pearson, the Hayward Area Office. At the end, we'll have a short time for some questions, so please refrain from asking questions until we get to the end. Chief Sanchez, thank you, sir.
Well, good morning. First of all, this is not the way we wanted to celebrate Christmas Day. It's definitely not the way we wanted the community to think of the 2017 Christmas Day holiday. But today's not a holiday for the Highway Patrol. Today is the tragic loss of one of our own by the name of Andrew Camilleri, who we will consider a hero now and forever. Today he's left behind 3 children, a wife, brothers and sisters, children that were expecting his father to come home and help open Christmas presents, but instead he chose to work today, work in the community of Hayward, and while on patrol on the 880, stopped on the right shoulder, him and his partner, Officer Jonathan Velasquez, were hit by a person who chose to be irresponsible. This person, a 22-year-old from Hayward, chose to drive while under the influence of alcohol and also drugs, and this needs to stop. We have enough evidence and enough statements that have been made today to allow us to charge this individual when he gets released from the local hospital with some very serious felony charges. Come to you with a broken heart, but also angered. It's not just because we've lost one of our own today, but as members of the media and as members of the community, if you do some minor researching into the number of fatalities that we've had in the Bay Area, just in the last couple of weeks, involving people who have chosen to drive under the influence of alcohol and that are suspected of driving under the influence of marijuana, you'll find that too many tragedies have happened. And today, I am not only disappointed, but also angered in that I had to notify a mother and 3 children that their father had deceased at a local hospital after being impacted by an individual who chose to drive irresponsibly. And that is the message today on Christmas Day. We thank the support of the public. We thank the support of the media. We thank you for getting the message out. But these irresponsible and senseless acts need to stop. So there'll be an opportunity for questions. At this time, I'd like to turn the time over to Captain Tim Pearson. He's the commander of the Hayward area. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you for being here and covering this tragic incident. Today we lost not only a hero, but a son, a brother, husband, and a father to a senseless act and an irresponsible decision. Many families have been impacted by this incident, as well as the citizens of California that Officer Camilleri swore to protect. Being a CHP officer is a calling. Andrew was drawn to this profession due to his courage, integrity, and his desire to serve. Andrew was a great man who loved his job and loved his family. The consequences of this action affect the department statewide, but that pales in comparison to what his wife and daughter and 3 children now have to live with. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a couple minutes for some questions.
Spelling of the last name.
Yes, sir.
Spelling of the last name.
So officer's last name is Camilleri, Camilleri. His first name is Andrew Camilleri.
How old was
He was 33 years old.
he? How long was the force?
He'd been with the Highway Patrol for 1 year and 4 months.
Can you go over the details of what happened, what they were doing, what happened?
The officers were parked on the right shoulder of the 880, very close to Whipple, when a red Cadillac being driven by a 22-year-old at a very high rate of speed drifted off the road and hit them from behind. The impact was so severe that it turned a utility vehicle into a very small compact vehicle. So it kind of gives you an idea of the speeds that were involved in this accident.
They were parked on the side of the freeway for a traffic stop or something?
They were not on a traffic stop. This is a time where we send our officers on what's called the maximum enforcement patrol. These officers were doing just that. They were patrolling the 880, stopping on the side of the road and using radar, using other equipment that their vehicles are equipped with, including license plate readers, is some of the tools that they use, and parking on the shoulders is ways of using those enforcement tools efficiently.
You said it was near Whipple. I thought it was near 92.
It was very close to 92, you're correct.
You know the
That other officer, Jonathan Velasquez, was released after being treated at Eden Hospital. His wife met him at the hospital. As you can imagine, he's very shooken up.
His age and years in the force?
You know, I can give that to you. I don't have that in front of me. But he's also a young officer of the Hayward area. Partner officers. He was driving at the time, or seated in the driver's seat of the patrol vehicle at the time. But as you can imagine, he now needs to live. He will live with this tragedy of seeing his partner die seated in the right front seat. Both of them were seat belted. Definitely saved Officer Velasquez's life. But the impact was so severe that it did not save Officer Camilleri's life.
Who was the driver and passenger? Who was the driver and the passenger?
Officer Velasquez was seated in the driver's side of the vehicle.
And the name of the driver of the red sedan?
You know, we're not releasing that at this time simply for one reason, and it will be released soon. He's still being treated at a local hospital. He's still in custody of, or be under the watch of the doctors. It's under serious condition. We have officers standing guard, waiting for him to be treated and released. As soon as we do that, our officers will make sure to put that out on our social media so that you can have a full name and at least city of where he resides, which is Hayward. Resides in the city of Hayward.
Can you state and spell your first and last
Like
name?
for Christmas Eve, like partying or family, or like what's the story behind that?
Let's just say this individual was coming home from a party and had obviously had too much to drink and maybe too much to smoke.
So it was marijuana as the drug suspected being used?
Marijuana is suspected, yes.
What was his
And alcohol.
demeanor? Was he remorseful?
Ladies and gentlemen, that's enough questions. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you coming out today, but we don't have any more time for questions.
First and last name, how do you spell it?
Ernest Sanchez, S-A-N-C-H-E-Z,
What's your rank?
Assistant Chief. Yes. Thank you very much. We know it's sensitive. We want to protect the rights of this individual that's still not in our custody, but we definitely do appreciate you coming out and getting the message out because the holidays are really just started, right? We still have a very big holiday coming up that at times involves more alcoholic beverages being served, and that's New Year's. Let's make it a safe rest of the New Year's, and thank you for sharing the message with everybody.
Do you have a picture of Andrew?
Do we have a picture of the injured? We will post it for you. How's that?